So you may notice that the Cub Cadet is gone. I was able to return that today. Uh-oh, sticker fell off. Nothing important, no numbers on it. So got that returned, and he seemed okay with it. He didn't seem very excited, but you know, I was telling Carolyn that he had no idea what was wrong with it. He knew it was expensive, but he had no idea what was wrong with it. So to him, it was just a repair. To me, it was major surgery. But I was glad to get that. So we took that back in the truck today, and which is kind of important to this video. You'll know that I've been working on this truck a lot. I probably made a video on it yesterday if I had to guess. I don't know. It's enough that I'm starting to get confused on the videos that I've made. So, changed the variable valve timing valves. I've showed you that. I've changed the oil pressure sensor. I've changed a new battery, new PVCs or PCVs, oil change. Found out that the owner's manual says 5 quarts, but this actually takes 6 quarts. So changed out the variable valve timing again, and it coded. And it codes on, it codes when we're trying to accelerate under unusual circumstances, like on a hill or on a hill with a lawnmower on the back. So it's coded enough now that I can identify when it's going to code. And I decided, Carolyn and I decided that we were going to spend the $400 and get the computer replaced. It's called an ECM. And it's very easy to come out. You just lift this tab up here, and there's another tab up here. There's 3 plug-ins. It comes right out. The problem is you got to get it programmed. So you pay almost $300 for the unit. Then you're probably going to pay $300 or $400 to get it programmed at the mechanics. I've been trying to find some company that will sell them programmed, and there are companies out there. And I said in yesterday's video, or whenever it was, that they just had really bad reviews, and I didn't want to spend $300 on a device and get, you know, and not get it, or be the wrong part. It was, one of them was registered with the Better Business Bureau. So we got a big storm coming tonight. This is a really expensive lawnmower, and I didn't want to get it damaged by the hail if we have any hail. So I covered it up. I called them and asked them if they'd come pick it up today, and they said they couldn't. So I'm a little worried about it. We should be okay though, as long as we stay away from the tornadoes. So I hate that one's way too expensive. If I'd have known it was that expensive, I probably wouldn't have taken it in the first place. I tried to turn down things that were just, you know, somebody brought over a $10,000 John Deere. Said the seal was broke on it, or leaking on it, and I just said I don't have time to work on it. It's that's a big job, but the reality is I didn't want a $10,000 lawnmower over here. It's funny, the area is so poor, yet they spend a fortune on things that they should probably really don't need to. I mean, there's a guy who brings his mowers over here all the time, and he does lawn care, and he has 2 Husqvarnas. I mean, those are not commercial lawnmowers, and they're not even that huge. And then he's got 1 Cub Cadet riding mower. So, you know, he's in business, and he doesn't spend $10,000 on a mower. The thing is what people don't understand is, you know, they buy a $10,000 mower and they think they're buying quality, but they're all built the same. They really are. You're not getting anything better. So I don't understand it. I mean, that one had 25 hours on it, and it's puttering, pop, 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 pop. No idea. Probably got carburetor issues, and I mean, he just wanted it serviced. That's what I did. But new spark plugs, all that stuff. I assume he thought that was going to fix it, but he didn't tell me to work on anything else. So anyway, back to the truck. So we decided we were going to buy a computer. And so I was trying to buy one offline, and there's two companies. Like I said, one was Better Business Bureau certified, and the reviews was 1 star out of 5. It was terrible. So, I mean, it's obvious they do sell something, but they're really bad at customer service and getting parts out. So, decided not to do that one, and then went to another one, and again, just really bad reviews. But they weren't even part of the Better Business Bureau, so that was even more risky. I called around at different auto parts stores to see if they could do it. AutoZone said that if we took it out of the truck, took it to AutoZone, they would send it off to their wherever, and they would transfer the program from my old one into a new one. But of course that would take time, and I only have one vehicle, and AutoZone's 40 miles away. So that's just not feasible. So my only option is hopefully a mechanic around here can do it. It shouldn't take that long. Even if I had to go to the dealer, they say it takes about an hour. So if I went to the dealer, had them do it, I could sit there and wait for it. If the dealer would do it, they're going to want to go through the whole thing, and I don't want them going through the whole thing. So I planned on calling the, I told you I was planning on calling the mechanic today to see if they would do it. And you may remember a while back, I should go back to the car, I don't know, maybe a year ago, I changed the thermostat on the truck. Now that's the second thermostat that has been on that truck that had to be replaced. So it must be a flaw with the thermostat in that truck. I mean, it's not hard to get to, so everybody's like, Chevy Colorado's no good because it's got a bad thermostat. Everything's, I get so tired of hearing that about different things. Lawnmowers all junk today because they don't last 5,000 years. Well, neither did the old ones. So anyway, changed out the thermostat, but there was something that you had to do after you changed it. You had to reset that computer. So the way you reset it is you disconnect, and I watched a Scotty Kilmer video on this before. So you disconnect the positive and the negative battery cables. So you just take them off the battery. And anything you see on Google says just remove the battery from the truck. That way you don't make any mistakes. Just completely get it out of there. So, and then when you get the cables disconnected, you take just any wire, speaker wire, anything you got, clothes hanger, and you tie it off to the positive and the negative cables. Remember, the battery's out of here, so it's not going to spark. And what the idea behind that is the computer has capacitors. I think they're called capacitors. Maybe that's what it is. The capacitors is stored energy. And they use them for a lot of things. They use them on motors even. So when your motor is off, the capacitor will charge up. And then when you turn on the motor, it will empty the capacitor so the motor will start up without using a huge surge from your electrical system. So it's just a burst of energy is what it is. And so by tying these two cables together, you're removing the electric from the capacitors in the computer. Now, I don't know why the computer has capacitors. I don't understand why you got to have so much energy when you're dealing with sensitive equipment like that. But anyway, that's what they say. And even Google confirms this. Scotty Kilmer confirmed this. Everybody confirmed it. So you're just removing that energy. Apparently, if you just take off the negative cable, they say you're resetting the computer. As a matter of fact, there's one procedure where you just remove the fuses. And so I looked at them yesterday. These are the computer fuses right here, 15 amps each. So I took those out for 20 minutes and then put those back in, and then I followed the procedure. Well, I guess I didn't get to the point. So today I called the mechanic and I wanted to schedule an appointment. He says, well, before we do that, why don't you reset the computer? And I said, you mean take the battery cables off and connect the wire to the cables? He said, yes. So you've done it before. So on the thermostat, that's what I had to do. So I did that today. And the thing is when we went to pick up that lawnmower, that Cub Cadet, and we were coming back, the truck coated because the hills on that gravel road are just crazy bad. So, granted, we took the truck back and we were going downhill, or the mower back and we were going downhill. But when we came back, we didn't code. So, you know, as we're driving along, we're noticing a significant difference in its shifting pattern. It is shifting so much smoother. It almost seemed like before that it would wait. Let's say we're in 5th gear or 4th gear, whatever. Let's say 4th gear. And you'd be going up a hill and you'd be losing your speed and you're trying to get more gas, And instead of going into 3rd gear, so you're in 4th, 3rd gear, it would jump all the way down to 2nd gear. So it completely skipped a gear, trying to catch up with the momentum it had lost. Well, today that didn't happen. So what would happen in the past is the RPMs would jump up to 5,000 RPMs because you just went from 4th to 2nd. Well, today that didn't happen. Today it was a lot smoother. You could tell you're only skipping 1 gear, so you'd be at 1,500 RPM, and it would shift a gear and it'd go up to 1,800 RPM or 2,000 RPM. It was just real smooth. And this truck has a feature that when you go downhill, like Jake brakes, you go downhill, you hit the brakes, and it will shift down. So you don't have to do it manually. That way, a lot of the stopping power is on the engine instead of the brakes. In the past, recent past, it has been really hard to get the truck to shift down. You really got to mash on the brake to get it to think, oh yeah, I want to shift down. Well, today I wasn't even paying attention. We're coming downhill, I just hit the brake a little bit and it downshifted, and I felt it. It was like, it works again. So I know I keep saying this. My fingers are crossed that the truck may be fixed now. I'm really hopeful. It can't be anything too terribly serious. I don't think it's the oil pump. I said that in yesterday's video. I really don't think it's the oil pump. That's $2,000 repair. I mean, we're getting oil pressure. I've replaced the oil pressure sensor. So even if the first one was wrong, the second one is not. And I can get up to, when the engine's cold, I can get up to 85 PSI. So I mean, that's really high. It's maintaining at idle, you know, not idle, but at driving speed, about 45, 47. And at idle, it's around 30-ish. So that's all right. That's all correct. So I don't think we have a major issue. It could be the computer. That's about the only thing it could be now. So hopefully the resetting worked. I'm glad I called him, and he was willing to give up on the idea of making a little bit of money to help me out. I didn't ask him for help. He just offered it. He said, well, before we do that, why don't you try to reset it? So, all right. So it's been reset. We'll give it, he said, give it 100 miles. Even if it codes again, give it 100 miles, because the computer has to relearn the new variable valve timing valve solenoids. Yeah, it may be the aftermarket ones are tripping it, so the computer has to learn, oh, these are aftermarket and they work differently than the OEM or something like that. And the computer has to learn all that. So if you add some sort of, you know, device to your engine, you really got to, you know, reprogram it or reset it and that kind of stuff. So it happened with the thermostat. It kept overheating. The computer actually regulates the thermostat. It's not mechanical. Well, it is mechanical. I don't understand how it can be electrical and mechanical, but it is both. So I'm going to jump off of here. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video where I was working on a lawnmower. So I hope I can inspire you to fix your problems so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.